Hey guys, welcome to my persuasive speech on why it should be acceptable to protest during the national anthem. My wife's going to help me out with the camera yet again, my faithful companion in all this. So, protesting during the national anthem and why it should be accepted. There's a lot of main arguments and a lot of arguments against this, and I think they're all the wrong reasons. I feel like the anger that they're putting towards people needs to be adjusted and refocused. I've been studying this for a while now, following it, and it's kind of died down as of late, and the most you hear is the main aggressor, so to say, is trying to get back into the game of football, and we'll cover that as we go along. So let's get started with our main point of the Constitution, or how the Constitution accounts to this. So it's covered in the First Amendment. We are protected by the First Amendment for the freedom of speech, freedom of press, and the freedom of protest and peaceful assembly. The correct words are peaceful assembly, but that is also includes peaceful protest. So you are allowed to protest so long as you're not being belligerent or, at least causing harm. Let's go on to this. Where it started was Colin Kaepernick. He protested during the national anthem by kneeling. So his big claims against him, one of my sources here is, or at least coming from Washington Post, Angela Denker, she says one of his biggest protests, or one of his things was, you don't like him because he's some young guy who doesn't know about politics, and he's just stating, he's doing something that's super disrespectful. And the feelings against it are, he's disrespecting people, and he's disrespecting mainly the soldiers, and the simple fact that we use sports as a way to get away from stuff. One of her main examples as well was like when you watch it on TV or you go to the sporting event, you don't know what to think when you see someone protesting something because you think, I can't get away from politics. But that's not what the point of sports are. They're not to separate us from, what is what. We need to still know that there's a problem going on. We can't use that as just a thing of we're going to use that to get away from all of the world. Sports is still a part of this world, so it should be included in a lot of things. And it's a very great stage to be used for examples in situations like this. Moving on, we have the arguments. A lot of people will say he could do it a different way. He could cover it a different way. That's kind of an invalid argument because there has been many other ways. Earlier on back a couple years ago, 2014, ESPN's J.A. Adonde covered this, and he said that, or he didn't cover this, he covered a whole different issue, which was LeBron James and a lot of the other big NBA names, Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, and them wore shirts that said, I can't breathe, which discussed a younger black man who had been strangled by a police officer, and those were the last words that he had said, and it was used on a stage to better promote what is going on in this world. People got a little uproared about it, and there were some proud moments about it, but it didn't last more than a few months. It was just very quiet. So another way doesn't work. It doesn't draw attention. It doesn't shock us like the national anthem protest did. When he kneeled, it lasted the entire football season. It lasted throughout and through on, and then Nike tried to revive it when it went go a little quiet, and it worked for a couple of months after that. So we need to find a way to turn it there. Disrespectful. How can he be disrespectful? He's doing what he was. I don't understand how people see it as a disrespect, so to say, because one, if there was a true story that was told, it's been covered on ESPN as well, a Marine told him that he should kneel rather than just sit down, because when you have a fallen brother, you kneel. When you have a fallen soldier, they kneel at the foot of their gravestone. So that's more respectful. So he chose to do that in respect to the soldiers, but since it's a peaceful protest, the soldiers have protected this. So they should want to understand that he's doing this to draw attention to national news, not to disrespect anybody, but really just get everyone's attention. So those are kind of the big main arguments that I have against those, and how they're there's not really a solid argument for this. We'll go into the last one here. I want to make sure. Okay, good. Go into the last section, which is just my conclusion of, Kobe Bryant said it as well. He said that we are a nation that it was founded on this, like we have the ability to, to protest this stuff. We have the ability to do this, and that's why it makes this country great. But the problem is like if we don't focus the anger that we're putting towards what these guys are doing, we are, like if we're putting the anger towards the people that are protesting something, we need to put it towards the action. We need to put it towards what they're trying to represent. So I hope you all can come around and maybe see just a little bit of sight, do some of your own research. This is just a quick info. Catch me on the next one. See ya. Bye.